in the world. No more unemployment, no more inflation, no more workers on strike, no more violence in the streets. My father says big government is to blame for our problems. And the Jews, the blacks, the immigrants, the homosexuals, the mentally and physically handicapped. Rats are the lowest form of animals, and Jews are the lowest form of mankind. If we can get rid of the Jews, the world will be a better place. That is what the Fuhrer says. Heil Hitler! I have been a member of the Hitler Youth since I was 7. Heil Hitler!
We say, Heil Hitler, if we meet a friend on the way to school. We say Heil Hitler at the beginning and the end of every class. The postman says, Heil Hitler. The woman who sells us groceries says, Heil Hitler. If our parents don't say Heil Hitler, we're supposed to report them, and they will be arrested. I promise at all times to do my duty for the Fuhrer. So help me God. November 9, 1938. Germany needs you. Heil Hitler!
I was born in 1926 in Germany and later moved to Holland to escape the Nazis. My nickname is Hello, which is what Anne Frank called me in her diary. When I was a teenager, I escaped again and hid from the Nazis in a townhouse in Belgium. That's how I survived the Holocaust.
My name is Eva Geidinger-Schloss. I was born in Austria in 1929. When I was a teenager, I was in hiding for 22 months in Holland. I was arrested by the Nazis and spent 9 months in the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. I'm a Holocaust survivor.
What was it like to live through that? How did you survive? What made the Nazis so cruel? That couldn't happen again, could it?
My grandfather, who lived in Germany in 1933, happened to be on a business trip at the time. And the day Hitler was elected, he called my grandmother on the telephone and told her to sell everything. He's not coming back to set foot in Germany. He understood something that some people did, and some didn't.
When the Nazis entered Austria in March 1938, suddenly things became quite different. Friends which we have had for years didn't want to know us anymore. I couldn't understand why suddenly I became different from my friends. It was something which I really couldn't grasp.
There were people such as my father who thought that this would all just blow over. The idea being that the German people would never allow this to go on. They're civilized. This cannot happen here. This is as far as it's going to go. And he belonged to, unfortunately, to a group of Jewish people who were wrong.
Pulled up with a group of thugs who were civilians from different areas with sledgehammers and various other devices.
Are they gone, Mother? Mother? My mother was at the door, was hit with a sledgehammer over the shoulder. Mother, did they hurt you?
He hit me!
I know. I didn't know what to do. They had sledgehammers and crowbars. They were drunk.
He hit me!
They were yelling and smashing furniture. They even cut the carpets.
Your father! Where's your father?
They didn't get him.
Did they take your father?
I'm here.
We had flat roof in back of where we were living, my father was able to get out there. We have often wondered about the reactions of our neighbors who witnessed some of this. And I don't really know. I am certain that there were people in Germany who were abhorred by this, Germans. But not much was done to help the Jews.
You have to stay with your grandparents for a while.
They won't come back, Father. We haven't done anything wrong. It's a mistake. You said yourself.
It's too dangerous, son. We don't know what's going to happen.
What do you mean?
You'll be safe in Amsterdam with your grandparents.
We'll join you as soon as we can. Do you get scared? Remember our secret whistle, yes?
I knew how to get by streetcar to the railroad station. And on the way, I saw the Essen synagogue in flames, burning, and people from the fire department just standing around and doing nothing. I was 12 years old.
I didn't have a passport at that age, but I had an ID card.
At the Dutch border, 2 guards wearing SS uniforms asked me to step out of the train.
Silverberg, he's a child. He's Jewish.
Something happened. I never knew what.
At the other end of the station platform, and they walked away.
And I got back on the train. By the time I reached my grandparents' home in Amsterdam, they had no idea what had happened in Germany. I always felt at first that they really didn't believe me, why I was there. But the next day it's on the radio, and in all the newspapers. The German Kristallnacht, Night of Broken Glass, had destroyed Jewish businesses and burned synagogues. 30,000 German Jewish men and boys were arrested and sent to concentration camps. I have no idea when I'll see my parents again, or even if I'll see my parents again. I am lucky to be with my grandparents in Amsterdam. For the moment, I am in a safe place.
My brother Heinz looked rather Jewish, and different from me, so everybody knew he was Jewish. His friends from his school, from his class, attacked him one day, and he came home all bleeding. His nose and his eye were cut. Heinz, what happened?
They attacked me.
Who?
I was at school. I was just standing there. I wasn't even...
School? Who would do such a
They
thing?
were friends, just kids at school. They called me a filthy Jew and started hitting me.
Well, why didn't you tell the teacher?
Ava, he was there. My teacher watched the whole thing.
Well, what did he do? Surely he stopped him.
He just watched it, and he walked away.
This was the situation in Austria at the time.
We leave Austria and immigrate to Belgium. And then we move again.
And again.
We're trying to stay one step ahead of the Nazis.
By 1940, we settle in Amsterdam, Holland, where my father thinks we will be safe.
Every month we will measure you and see how much you've grown. You'll be safe here. We'll all be safe here.
You're growing so fast, Ava.
Dressmaker in our block where we lived. And we got there and she said, "Can you just wait in the hall?"
So I sit down, and I hear a voice from behind the curtain. A girl who sounds very determined.
This dress would look much better with shoulder pads. Do you think the hemline is alright this way? I think the hemline should be just a little bit shoulder pads. Definitely shoulder pads.
It was Anne Frank.
Do you like it?
Oh, yes.
No, of course, that later on I was going to be asked questions about her because she became really a very famous person through writing her diary. She was a very pretty girl, very lively, talked a lot, giggled a lot.
Ava, is he looking at me? Who? That boy. Don't look. I don't want him to see us looking.
Who is he?
Oh, just one of my many admirers. Do you like boys, Ava?
Well, my brother Heinz is a boy. He's perfectly nice.
You have a brother? You're so lucky. I only have a sister, Margot. She's 3 years older than us. Those are such really light boys, but I think she's just a big pretender. He's looking again. And he has a friend. Maybe his friend is in love with you.
I don't know.
You should talk to him.
But I'm still so new, Anna. I can't speak Dutch yet. I feel strange. Like I don't belong.
Oh, Ava, you must come to my flat and meet my father. He can speak German to you.
Otto Frank, when I met him first, was a very tall, distinguished-looking gentleman. He right away made me feel very much at home.
And he spoke to me in German, which was wonderful for me because I'd just been in Amsterdam perhaps for 6 weeks and I didn't speak the language, of course. I didn't suspect that later on he was to become my stepfather.
The Nazis came in with their armies on May 10th, 1940, and occupied the Netherlands rather quickly.
After 5 days, the Germans had won the war. They bombarded Rotterdam, and the Dutch capitulated. Then, we realized we were really trapped. They started to take the measures against the Jewish population, so life became very, very difficult. Jews are not allowed to go outside after 8 o'clock at night.
Or before 6 o'clock in the morning.
Prison signs are everywhere.
Notices appear in the newspaper.
Jews are not allowed to go shopping in certain shops.
Only Jewish shops.
And only between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m.
Now, Jews are forbidden to attend theaters or the movies.
We're not even allowed to have a radio.
Which is terrible, because the radio is the only place you get information about the war.
And music. I miss listening to music on the radio.
I had a little sailing boat in the Amstel River, but I had to give it over to the Nazis. Jews aren't allowed to have boats.
Jews are forbidden to take part in any athletic activity in public.
You can do this, and you can't do that.
Jews are forbidden to visit Christians in their homes.
Christians aren't even allowed to teach us.
We have to leave our schools.
We have to leave our friends.
We have to go to Jewish schools.
With Jewish teachers.
Jews are not allowed in public transportation.
Now we can't ride the buses.
We can't ride the train.
We can only ride our bicycles.
Then, we had to hand in our bicycles.
By the time it became a very serious issue, a freedom-threatening issue, it was too late. There was nowhere, no place to go.
Beginning on April 29, 1942, all Jews in Holland were required to wear the yellow star. But why do we have to wear it?
It shows you're Jewish. You can be proud of it. There's nothing wrong with being a Jew.
On the left-hand side of our garment, on exactly a particular spot.
Every outside piece of clothing has to show the yellow star. Ava, listen very carefully. You must always wear the yellow star now. If you don't, the Germans can arrest you.
I was sitting outside with a friend talking one day, and it was hot outside, so he took off his jacket. And he didn't have a yellow star on his shirt. An informer Nazi saw us and arrested my friend for not wearing the yellow star. He's never been heard from again. He was 16 years old.
The Green Police would cordon off a block of apartment buildings in Amsterdam and go from apartment to apartment, ringing doorbells. People would open, they would march in and look for young people.
I was in my grandparents' bedroom when they knocked, and the door to the wardrobe was open, and I stood behind it. The police came in, looked around, looked in the wardrobe, but they didn't look behind the open door. They didn't see me. They left. By sheer dumb luck, they just didn't see me.
I received this diary from my parents for my 13th birthday. The cover is red plaid. It's the most beautiful diary ever. Hundreds of these blank pages. I can't imagine what I'm going to write in it. Something unexpected happened yesterday morning. As I was passing the bicycle racks, I heard my name being called.
Anna?
And I turned around and there was this nice boy.
Anna? My name's Helmut Silberberg.
I know. Your friends call you Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Anna. I was hoping, if it's all right with you, can I walk you to school?
Oh, yes. If you're headed that way. Hello is 16 and I think he likes me.
I continued to see her on different occasions, some by coincidence and some on purpose.
I turned the corner and there he was, waiting for me again. He pretended like it was just coincidence, but I think it was on purpose. He definitely likes me.
The thing I remember most about her, besides her ability to communicate, is some of her body language.
When she was sitting in a club chair at my grandparents' home, she would put her arms under her chin and lean forward, which could be interpreted as being flirtatious.
Well, I was born in Germany, but we moved here when I was 4. I have all kinds of hobbies. I like music, I like making up stories. I have a diary, and a cat named Lucy. So, tell me something about you.
I come from Germany, too. My parents are in Belgium, but there's no way I could get there now. So I'm living with my grandparents. They're kind of old-fashioned. They think you're too young for me.
I'm 13.
I'm 16.
Well, I will be 16 in 3 years.
I don't know whether you can be in love at age 16, really, but I was certainly attracted to her.
When will I see you?
I think it was fun.
I can see you every...
She seemed to think so, too.
My brother Hans, he was 3 years older than me.
And we had a wonderful relationship. He was a very talented person. He wrote poetry, he painted, he was a wonderful musician. He played piano, he played guitar.
Oh, did I wake you?
It's all right. I can't sleep anyway.
Sometimes I think that I must already be asleep. That all of this has to be a nightmare. If I can just wake up, everything will go back to the way it used to be. You remember the way it used to be? If I still had my little sailing boat, I'd get in it and float away, far away, to a place where... far away.
And I've been with you.
Something terrible is going to happen, Ava.
No!
I can feel it.
In June 1942, in the morning, there came a card with the post, which was a very ordinary postcard, and it says that
Heinz Geringer has 3 days to report.
But why are they doing this?
With a backpack and a few belongings.
It'll be slave labor.
He will be transported to a work camp in Germany.
He's just a boy.
Don't worry, Mother. They won't harm me if I work hard.
the Nazis went after the young people because they didn't want Jews to survive, and especially young people who would be their parents who would have children later. So those were the people they wanted to kill first, so that there would be no new generation of Jews.
I don't want to go.
Of course you're not going.
You're not going. It's getting too dangerous. It's time we disappeared.
What does that mean?
I've made arrangements for us to go into hiding.
Hiding?
We're going to be living with other people.
What other people?
For how long?
Just for a little while, until the war ends.
A month. 2 months.
You'll go with me. Frank will go with me.
What?
Ava, 4 people are too many.
Why can't we all stay together?
It's too dangerous for a family to hide all 4 of us.
Happy, I don't want to go without you.
Ava, be a grown-up girl now. Let's look after the meeting for me. God bless you. We are in 2 different places. There's a fair chance at least 2 of us will survive.
We didn't tell anyone about our plans, of course, because you never know what would betray you. My family and the Frank family went probably into hiding at the same time.
Hiding? What does that mean? Where will we hide? With who? For how long? Why can't we all stay together? And what about our home? Will someone else live there? Look out our windows? Sleep in my bed? When will we come back? And what about my friends? What will happen to them?
My entire friendship with Anna was limited to 1942.
One day I was due to come to her home on a Sunday afternoon and rang her doorbell. But there was no answer. I can't tell you exactly what I thought, but you have to understand that it wasn't unusual for people to just disappear. Well, maybe they got away. People can get away.
I recall that I was very taken aback, that I was sad about not seeing her. I had seen her that morning, but that was the last time I saw her.
Maybe they got away.
My mother and me left in the morning and went right across Amsterdam to go to this new place where we were going to stay with the 2 school teacher, Mrs. Klompe.
Our contact from the resistance came to visit us and said we must have a hiding place within our hiding place. He decided we should make a false partition at one end of the bathroom and tile it with a little trap door. A hiding place within our hiding place. They work very late one Sunday night until they finish it. They leave and we go to bed.
And in the night, we heard suddenly lorries outside and shouting and knocking on the doors.
And so suddenly, my mother and I, we jump into our hiding place and put the trapdoor on.
And my mother sat on the toilet and I sat on the floor next to her and waited. And a few minutes later we heard the Germans with their heavy boots clumping up the stairs, and my heart was beating so loud that I was sure they would hear it through the partition.
We hear them opening the bathroom door. We hear them come in. We hear them looking. We hear them searching. We hear them talking. We hear one of them say,
"Nobody's here."
They're walking away. Out of the room, down the stairs, out of the house. The door slams. They're gone.
And this is something, when I talk to you about it now, I feel it as if it's still happening.
We're safe. But I can't sleep for the rest of the night. The sun comes up, and it all begins again. In hiding, the minutes turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into months. I'd give to walk in the fresh air again, to feel the sunshine, to be free. My mother and I have to sit here all day and whisper. We can't even move around. The neighbors might hear you. No one can know that we're here. But I am here. You are here. Beauty, sometimes I lay in bed at night and take my sheets because I'm so frustrated. Oh, Ava, I'm 14 years old, Beauty. I want a normal life. It's almost 3 o'clock. Mrs. Clump will be home soon. Then we can move around. Then we can talk. Move around? Talk? I want to go ice skating on the canals, drink hot cocoa. I want to go back to school. I want to see my friends. I want us to be a family again. I miss Pappy. I miss Heinz.
If you spend 2 years with one person day and night, of course you have a very, very close relationship. So I was really my mother's everything, and she was everything to me.
I had been to see friends who lived relatively far away. I was late coming home.
It's 10 minutes past 8. 10 minutes past curfew. I turned a corner within a block of my grandparents' home. And there they are. German soldiers. They don't even ask for identification. They don't have to. I'm wearing the yellow star.
They didn't say much. They just, one of them took me by my arm and told me to get on the truck.
I'm on this truck for about a half hour. And there's a young German guard holding a rifle and staring straight ahead. I know that if I'm going to escape, this is it. So I push him off balance, and I jump off of the truck and into the road. For 1 second, I think I'm safe. And then I look up, and I see headlights coming toward me. I roll away just in time to get away from the wheels from the next truck. I get up and start running. Running and running. I don't look back. I just hide in the doorway of an apartment building where I know people. But I don't ring their bell. I just wait here for an hour or so. Finally, when it's really dark, I go home.
So the removal of the star was perhaps part of that feeling that this is enough. In other words, you have to risk this to get out of this in some way.
When I am promoted in my unit to Hitler Youth, our leaders give me a little puppy. They tell me to keep the puppy with me day and night, to feed it and care for it, to let it sleep with me, to make it my property and my responsibility.
As the Fuhrer has said, we will be one people, one nation.
And the youth, we are going to be that people and that nation.
Heil Hitler!
We've been in hiding now for almost 2 years. 2 years of having to be quiet, 2 years of peeking out windows, 2 years of being afraid. But today, none of that matters. Today, I don't feel afraid. Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Ava.
May 1944, it was my 15th birthday, and I was a bit excited. My mother and me went down to breakfast, and we were just going to start eating when we heard loud knocking on the door.
Here they are! I found the dead Jews!
But we're just visiting. We're not Jewish.
We haven't done anything!
Filthy Jews!
They just marched us down the street and took us to the Gestapo headquarters where we were going to be interrogated. And there was no way we were just stunned into, but we knew that was going to be the end for us. You know, that was something we had feared for all those 2 years, and it had happened now.
We were put into a small room where other people were waiting. I didn't know what to expect. I was very, very scared. We waited and waited. And then they came for me.
Ava! What did they look like? What did they say? Were you scared? How did you survive?
I only remember their uniforms and their way of speaking. They were always shouting. Tell us everything we want to know, and then you will see your mother again.
My father and brother, Happy, Heinz.
That was when I realized that that also captured my father and brother. Of course, we have them as well. Where did your mother get the money from?
I don't know. Why don't you believe me?
The pure arrogance of them that they could get everything out of us what they wanted. They were the boss. Who helped you find places to hide?
I told you. I don't know.
We intend to torture your brother to death unless you cooperate with us.
No, Heinz. We
will show you what we will do to him.
They're beating me and threatening me. Eventually, they will realize I know nothing. If I knew anything, I'd probably tell them. There's nothing to tell. My name is Ava Geringer. Today is my birthday. I'm 15 years old. This morning, I woke up, I went down to breakfast, opened my presents, and then they came for me.
The 50 years fall back, and it all comes really back to me. This was really the most horrendous experience I've been going through. I knew that we were all forecourt now, and we knew about the concentration camps. So I really had to come to terms now with perhaps my life was going to end there.
After that night, when I jumped from the Nazi truck, my grandparents just couldn't take it anymore. And even though it was very dangerous to try to escape, it was something I had to risk. I am 16 years old. My parents have escaped from Germany and are living in Belgium. I have to try and find them. I have to try to get across the border into Belgium. But Jews are not allowed to travel, to cross borders. If I get caught, the Nazis will kill me. But if I stay, many friends have simply disappeared. Anna and her family are gone. Maybe they got away. Maybe I can get away too. We arranged with a friend of the family to take me across the border. We have secret information about when it might be safe to try and cross. About when the border guards won't see us. We hide in the fields. We sneak into Belgium. Several days after saying goodbye to my grandparents, I'm in Brussels. I've never been here before. My parents don't know I'm coming, but I have their address. I get off the streetcar, and there, on the other side of the street, there is my father. We haven't seen each other for 4 years.
Help you?
Father,
How did you find us? How did you get here?
by train, on foot, on bicycle.
But how did you get across the border?
We snuck across.
4 years, Helmut. We haven't seen you for 4 years. Your mother won't believe how much you've grown.
His mother,
She's fine. Your mother's fine. She'll be so happy to see you.
He was stunned at first and happy to see me, of course, and the underlying feeling was always in some way related to the situation. Like, wonderful, I'm happy you're here. What are we going to do now?
After we were arrested on my birthday, my family is transported to Westerbork, a transit camp, a kind of holding camp where there are thousands of other Jewish and Gypsy families waiting. A few days later, they put us on another train.
What were the trains like? How big were they? How long were you on the train?
2 days? 3 days?
4 days.
We don't know when it's day.
We don't know when it is night. The train is like cattle cars.
They were cattle cars. It was just big wagons with 2 iron doors. There was nothing in it whatsoever. No bedding, no nothing. We got buckets for toilet facilities.
100 people are pushed together in one car,
It's so tight, we have to take turns standing, flying.
shitting. Sometimes the train stops.
Doors open.
Bread is thrown in.
Buckets of water for us to drink.
3 days.
4 days?
It's hot.
Boiling hot.
And the doors are closed.
And bolted shut from the outside. Where are they taking us? We knew we were going east, but we had no idea yet where we were going to go. Nobody said anything to us.
Verfluchte Juden! Schau Lesbien! Stop! Raus, ihr Lesbien! Verfluchte Juden!
The train stops.
Yes, the doors of the train.
Open.
Off the train, Jews! Get off! Go! Get off!
At least we can stretch and breathe the air.
Or on the platform, the big sign Auschwitz, and we knew this was the death camps. So again, we thought, well, that's it. Our last hour had arrived.
Put it on, Ava. It's hot. Wear the coat. Maybe they'll let you keep it.
You look a smart young girl now.
Mann, auf eine Seite, Mann, auf die andere Seite!
And then we went to different sides.
Mann, auf eine Seite, Mann, auf die andere Seite! Schnell!
This is when I saw my father and brother saw for the last time, and we kissed goodbye, and then we separated, and my mother and me went to one side, and my father and brother to the other side. And then there was a short commands, rows of five. And then they looked at the rows of 5 and sorted through some people to the right and some people to the left.
The SS officer looks me up and down and finally indicates for me to go to the left. Soon Yuri joins me. Many mothers lose daughters to the other group, to the wrong side.
All the people who went to the wrong side went straight to the gas chambers and were never seen again.
I'm the youngest person left in our group. As ridiculous as I look, this coat makes me look older and saves my life. We marched on into the entrance of the camp. This is the very famous picture with Arbeit macht frei. Work will make you free.
To are dressed completely naked. And SS was walking around freely, poking at us and looking at us and laughing.
Beauty, why are they doing this? Tell them to stop!
So this was really terrible degradation, because suddenly we were not human beings with a name. We were just naked women without name, without belongings.
I don't want a tattoo!
Hush, Ava. She's so young. Don't do it so strong. Don't make the number so big.
A5272.
Don't hurt her. She's only a child. My child.
Why do they have to cut all our hair?
And as well as my hair, my mother had leave her a little bit of hair, and just in the front I had a little inch of hair, which made me look a little bit less awful.
What happens now? What happens to you?
You have to get up every morning at 4 o'clock and stand for 2 hours appel, which is a roll call.
Why did it take so long?
Because the whole camp had to be counted and then reported back to the SS.
How many women were there? 1,000?
1,000. There were tens of thousands, perhaps even 100,000 of people.
And I have to stand here? Why?
You will have to stand there every morning and every evening for 2 hours in any weather.
No talking? No moving around?
No talking, no moving. If somebody sees you move, you will be beaten.
It is now late in the summer of 1944, and we've been in the camp for over 2 months. Sleeping is almost impossible, pinned to a bed. It's itchy and very smelly. Sometimes, the bed bugs fall from the top bunks down onto anyone sleeping below. They are big, black bugs that suck your blood.
In the morning, we get some tea. That is what we get for the whole day. In the evening, we get a chunk of horrible brown bread.
Some people try and keep part of their bread for the next day, but the thief will steal it in the night.
If this happens a few times to you, you will starve to death.
At night, we see the flames. They burn 24 hours, and you can smell flesh.
You can only deal with it by not believing.
We know. 100% we know. But we just say that such a big camp must have so much rubbish to burn. That's what's burning, and we just pretend it's not true.
The shower blocks and the gas chambers were built very similar. So we never knew if we were going to go to a shower or to a gas chamber.
They tell people they're going to have a shower, and they're given a bar of soap and a towel. The door's open. People are taken in. The door's closed.
Germans were sitting on top, looking through little peepholes to see. After about half a minute, the people had collapsed, were lying on the floor, and were dead. And they watched that. And then after about a minute, they opened the door. And other prisoners, other people who were in the camp had to take out the dead bodies.
By this time, the Nazis are after the Jews in Belgium too. So my parents have made arrangements with a friend from the neighborhood who will rent a house in the outskirts of Brussels. We have no idea how long we'll be there.
We were there a total of 26 months. We went into hiding in August 42, and we were liberated by the unit of the British Army on September 3rd, 1944. There's a significance in that date for me.
Because that is the day the last transport left from Westerbork to Auschwitz was on a prompt and heard.
After being in hiding with Mother, Father, and Margot in our secret annex for over 2 years, and then arrested by the Nazis. We were sent to Westerbork and then put into cattle cars and shipped to Auschwitz. Men and women to different sides. We were immediately separated from Father.
The middle of winter. It's unbelievably cold. November, December, we have no shoes, no clothes.
The itching, the lice. I couldn't take it any longer. I ripped off all my clothes and wrapped myself in a blanket. It's all I have.
It's not just that we're hungry and dirty and have to work hard. It's also, are we going to live for tomorrow?
December.
January.
Why?
Freezing.
My name is Anna Frank.
My name is Ava Geringer.
I'm 15 years old. My sister Margot and I are sent to another camp, and now we're separated from Mother as well. I don't have any parents. I don't know if they're dead or alive. I think they must be dead.
Judy?
Mother?
Happy?
Father?
Heinz?
Margot? Oh, Margot has been sick. I wish for a pencil, a scrap of paper, a piece of bread.
My feet are frostbit. Sometimes the blood starts to stream through them and get a bit warm, and it hurts very, very much.
When I was in hiding, I used to dream of sleeping under a starry night. Now, even the moon seems cruel. Hello.
We didn't know exactly what was happening to the people who were being deported. The depth of the crime and the devastation, we did not know about.
One night, I wake up because something is biting on my toes. It is a rat, a big rat. It must have smelled the blood. I wish I could escape.
The chance to escape was nil, but nevertheless people did try to escape, but that was really more out of resignation than giving up, because they were always called. If they stepped out of line, the Germans just let their dog loose and the dogs ripped the people apart. Or they were caught and taken back to the camp, and then there was public hanging.
The SS people, these men, they're not much older than me. You expect people like that to look vicious? But they don't. They're boys. How is it possible for them to be so cruel?
I think it was a way of being trained and educated, and it's a long process of several years to obey order and just to do what they are ordered to do. There were stories going around the camp how it was possible that those Nazis, the young SS boys, became so cruel.
After I had the puppy for about 6 months, after I kept it with me day and night, fed it and cared for it, loved it, we were told to report to a unit meeting and to bring our puppies. Our leaders welcomed us. They praised us. They told us we were the futures of Germany. And then they ordered me to take my puppy.
Jetzt wird euer Hündchen erwürgen.
They told all of us to take our puppies. They told us to strangle our puppies. They told us if we didn't do it, we'd never be chosen. We'd never be SS. We'd never be real Germans. I
An order is an order. Yes?
I have been a member of the Nazi youth since I was 7.
I will fight in Germany's total war. It is win or die for Germany. Heil Hitler!
We had, of course, no official news what was happening with the running of the war, but we heard aeroplanes, we heard shooting and guns in the distance, and we noticed that the Germans became very nervous, and they evacuated the camp slowly. They took everyday transport of people away from the camp.
One morning, my mother and I wake up,
It is January.
and the Germans are gone. And most of the prisoners are gone too.
I am too weak to go with them.
And I won't leave my mother. There are only a handful of people like me who are able to move around. And we start to investigate the concentration camp.
It is very, very cold. Winter.
I was with a Polish woman walking around aimlessly to look what we could find or see. We came across a horse which had been shot.
The horse is steaming from the heat, from the body. The first thing we think is meat.
And the Polish woman said, "Go quickly and get a knife. We must cut into this meat right away before it gets frozen and it's so hard that we can't carve it anymore."
So I went and got a big knife, and we start to cut into this horse, into the belly part. We come across something peculiar. We cut into it and we realize it's a wound, and there is a young horse in it. I don't think I can eat that.
And so she said, oh yes, we'll make a very nice stew out of it. And we did. And when I think of what it is now, I think I just can't believe it that I really did that. But this is the way we were after 8 months in the concentration camp. Food was really everything for us.
Yumi, listen to me. We can't stay here like this.
We knew the men's camp was in Auschwitz somewhere near, and my mother didn't really want to let me go.
You don't know where to go. How to find it?
I'll find it.
It's too dangerous.
I must go. I'll find Patty and Heinz. I'll come back for you. We'll all be together again. Everything was covered in snow. It was very, very cold. There were no roads and no way of really knowing. But somehow I seemed to have gone in the right direction. I walked for hours. I heard guns, shooting, and crossfire. It was very, very scary. Sometimes I would hear bullets flying overhead, so I would go to lie low down. But eventually, I arrived into the big main camp, which was Auschwitz men's camp. And suddenly I came across a man, an old man who stood there looking very lost. He looked slightly familiar to me, so I went to him. He was very, very thin head, and only very gentle brown eyes looked out of him. We looked at each other, and he said to me, "You look familiar. I think I know you." I said, yes, I'm Eva Geringer. I'm Otto Frank. Honest, Father, I said. Yes. Do you know where Anna is? Do you know where Margot is? Have you seen my wife? I said, no, never saw them. Have you seen Heinz? Have you seen my father? He said, yes, saw them, but they're not here anymore. I had found Otto Frank, honest father, but not my own father, not my brother. Happy, Heinz, they're gone. But the possibility that they might still be alive, it helps me make the trip back through the snow, and somehow I find my way back to the women's camp. My mother is alive. I am alive. Because we've had each other, we're both alive.
About 1 o'clock in the morning, I was lying on the roof of that house, and I saw an armored vehicle turn the corner down the road, and I was holding my breath until I saw the white star of the Allied armies. And they went another 50 yards, turned around, and came back. And in turning around, knocked over a telephone pole and stopped in front of the house. And they came in.
All of a sudden, there are 100 people in our kitchen from all over the area. A big celebration. Someone comes in with a bottle of cognac. A baker who has hoarded all his flour during the war starts baking bread. We have a feast. And my mother kisses them all.
That was it. The next day we were able to go out and walk in the street.
After Auschwitz is liberated by the Russians, it takes my mother and I 5 months to return home to Amsterdam.
We travel by foot, by train, and by boat from Auschwitz, Poland to Ukraine and Russia,
To Odessa, across the Black Sea to Turkey,
across the Mediterranean to the south of France,
north to Paris,
through Belgium,
and into Holland.
And there we stood without any money, and we had to get to our place. So we just went into a tram and asked the conductor, could we go free? We had no money. We looked terrible anyway. We just come from a concentration camp, and they didn't take much notice, but they let us ride free. And we went back to our apartment on the Merwedeplein. There was still somebody in it who had kept it for us. The lady was very happy to see us, and everything, she had left everything how it was. And it was really weird to walk around and see everything how we had left it after 3 years where so much had happened to us. We had gone to hell and back, and there stood all our things untouched.
Ava, what is it?
Pencil marks.
Every month, we will measure you and see how much you have grown. You'll be safe here. We'll all be safe here.
On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. Then, Germany surrendered. The war is over. And we lost. We've lost so much. 5,860,000 Jews died in the Holocaust.
I was just following orders.
5,860,000 Jews died in the Holocaust.
I promise, at all times, to do my duty for the Fuhrer. So help me God. My name is Helmut Silberberg. I was born in Germany in 1926 and later moved to Holland to escape the Nazis. My nickname was Hello, which is what Anna Frank called me in her diary. When I was a teenager, I escaped again and hid from the Nazis in a townhouse in Belgium.
My name is Ed Silverberg now. After the war, I married my wife, Marlies. We live in Hackensack, New Jersey. We have 2 children and 2 grandchildren.
My name is David Geringer. I was born in Austria in 1929. When I was a teenager, I was in hiding for 22 months in Holland. I was arrested by the Nazis and spent 9 months in the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp.
After the war, I married Swie Schloss. We live in London, England. We have 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren.
But
Grant's mother, Edith Frank, died at the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. Anne and her sister, Margot, died at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp within days of each other.
Only Otto Krom survived. After the war, in 1953, he married my mother.
We really wanted to make a new family again.
My brother,
My son, Heinz Geringer,
was evacuated from Auschwitz and forced to march to Mauthausen, an Austrian concentration camp. He died there several days before the liberation.
my husband,
My father, Happy,
Eric Geringer, was evacuated from Auschwitz and forced to march to Mauthausen. He died there several days before the liberation. They have no graves.
My name is Anna Krom. I was born in Germany in 1929. I did not survive the Holocaust. I died in a concentration camp 6 weeks before the war was over. I was 15 years old. I did not get married. I did not have children. I did not have grandchildren. I had a diary, and I dreamed of becoming a great writer.
I have never forgotten the type of person she was at age 13. I imagine sometimes what she would have been like at 14, 15, or perhaps 18. What she could have become.
They came for the Jews, and I was not a Jew, so I did not protest. They came for the trade unionists, and I was not a trade unionist, so I did not protest. They came for the Roman Catholics, and I was not a Roman Catholic, so I did not protest. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to protest.
Good.